In this video tutorial, I'm going to walk you step by step on how to trade futures using the Bitunix exchange, and what I'm going to share with you guys will help you to turn your $10 to $100 to $500 or even up to $1,000 as long as you apply good risk management. So what I'm going to teach you in this video is how to know the tokens you are going to trade, how to know where to enter that trade, how to know where to set your stop loss, how to know where to set your TP, and every other thing you need to be able to become a profitable trader. So stay with me to the end of this video, and I have some good bonuses for you if you start trading with the Bitunix exchange. The link to sign up for an account will be in the video description, and if you are new here, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to take advantage of all of our free signals, the link to join us on Telegram will be in the video description, or you can check out my bio for that. So the first thing you want to do is to sign up for a Bitunix account. Now, normally when you want to trade futures, you need an exchange and then you need TradingView. TradingView is where we do the analysis and the exchange is where we take the trades. But this one, you don't need TradingView because you can use some paid futures if you are using TradingView inside of the Bitunix exchange, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. So sign up for an account, you get some welcome bonuses if you make a deposit and start trading with a platform. Once you sign up for an account, you need to log into your app. I'm doing everything using the mobile app for the Bitunix exchange. So once you're on the app, you'll see where it says futures right here. Click on the futures option, and this is where you can actually start taking out your trade. You see that the futures trading interface is like every other exchange, but I'm going to walk you through all of this. Right then, if you want to fund the account, you can do that from another wallet, or you use a P2P. They equally have P2P right there. With the Bitunix exchange, you can do everything you do with your popular exchanges like Binance, Bybit, and every other exchange. So here on the futures trading option, let's assume that you are new here. To be able to trade futures, if you want to copy traders, you can go to the copy trading option, but we stay on the futures option. So right here, the next thing you want to do is to select the token you are going to trade. So in this tutorial, we're going to use Dogecoin as our trade, as our token. If you want to select the token, you just click on it, and then you can select your token from here. Then the next thing after selecting your token is to adjust your leverage. So as you can see right here, my leverage is on 20x. I will advise that you always use, between 2 to at most 10x leverage, because the higher the leverage you use, most especially when you are just starting out, the higher the leverage you use, the more you put your capital or your account at risk. So make sure that you are using a very low leverage. And right here is where you adjust your margin mode. If I go ahead and click on the cross will be there by default. You'll see we have cross and then we have isolated. Isolated means if I have $100 in my wallet or in my futures account and I want to enter a trade and I decide to enter that trade with $5. If I don't put stop loss and I get liquidated, I will only lose that $5. But on cross margin, if I decide to enter a trade with $5 using cross margin, and I have $100 in my futures account, if I don't put stop loss and I get liquidated, I will lose the whole of my $100. Okay, and if I'm trading with cross margin, because I have $100, my liquidation will be very far from my entry. And then if I'm using an isolated margin, my liquidation price will be very close. So those are the difference between cross and isolated margin. And I always advise as a beginner, use isolated margin, because I always get these excuses that, oh, I forgot to put stop loss. So that when you forgot, okay, so that when you forget to put stop loss, you only lose the money you are entering that trade with. You don't end up losing your whole capital. So make sure that you're always on isolated margin. All right. So after that, the next thing is here is where you have your order types like your limit, market. By default, the ones that are more popular is market order. Market order, let's say I want to buy Dogecoin right now. I just go ahead and just click and then buy. But you use limit order to set. Let's say this is where Dogecoin is and I want to buy when it gets to 0.18. I'll go ahead and set that so that when it gets there, it will automatically trigger for me. Whether I'm online, whether I am connected to the internet or not, once you set your limit order, everything will be taken care of, whether you're there or not. Right? Then after that, you can use this slider here to select the amount of money you want to enter. So we always advise that you stick to 5 to 10% of your capital. No matter how much you have, okay, stick to 5% to 10% of your capital. Then if you want to set take profit and SL, you can do that using this option. So if I go ahead and click on it, I can now have the option to type my TP, and my SL price is right here. Okay, now for those of you taking our signals, if you are going to do this before entering the trade, the TP should be, if we have TP 1, 2, 3, 4, the TP should be the last one, and then you use the SL here. Then as the market continues to go in your favor, you will continue to adjust your TP level. Then after that, you can then decide whether you want to open a long trade or a short trade. So you go ahead and open, and once you open your trades, all of your orders will be showing up right here. That's if they are pending orders. But once they trigger, you'll be seeing them showing in the position option. Now, right here, you can see that I don't have funds on my account right now. So what do we do? Once I've made a deposit, either via P2P or through another wallet, I prefer using another wallet. I do all of my P2P transaction on Bybit. So I just transfer money from there to this account. So now how do I transfer that money into my Futures account? Okay, what I need to do right here, you see where it says available balance, it is 0, right? So we'll just click on the plus icon here to transfer money. I have some money on my spot wallet. So once I click on that, you see I'm transferring from my spot wallet to my Futures account. All right, if you want to switch that, you can just toggle this, and then it will now be from Futures to spot wallet. That is after you made profit and you want to transfer the money out, you can use that option. So I just go ahead and click on all and click on confirm. And right here, if we come back, you can now see that I now have some money right here. So we can go ahead and open a trade and all of that. But before we open the trade, we need to know what the chart is saying. We need to do some analysis, right? Now, to be able to assess the chart of this market I'm looking at, this is the trading interface. To be able to chart this and do my technical analysis, I will need to click on this icon right here. So once I click on that icon, it brings us to this chart. This is what you see with every other traditional exchanges that you're using, right? But inside of the mobile app, Bitunix has integrated TradingView into it. So you don't need to pay TradingView. You don't need to subscribe for TradingView. You just need to activate it and use it. Now, how do we switch from this normal chart interface to TradingView? The next thing I need to do, if you go down right here where it says more by the left, or say down left right here, you see the option, these three dots that say more. Click on it. Once you click on it, you see where it says chart settings. Click on chart settings, and we want to change it from basic, which is the normal exchange chart, to ultra. And the ultra will give us access to TradingView. If you are using TradingView and you are not a premium member, you can only use at most 2 indicators. And there are limits to a lot of things you can do. But with this, I can do a lot of things. I can use more than 2 indicators inside of this. All right. So once we switch to Ultra, we can go ahead and close this, and you can see, guys, right? This is my app inside of the exchange. I can go ahead and click on my long position 2 and say, okay, I want to buy right here, and adjust that, right? I can use short position 2. This is inside of the exchange, right? All of these are inside of the exchange. I can use my Fibonacci 2 as well, right? Take it from up, down there, and all of that. I can use a whole lot of drawing tools that are available for you inside of this exchange, right? So I can go ahead and do my analysis and all of that. Now, how do we know when to buy and when to sell? That is when you now need to add up this indicator that you see right here. EMA cross is what I use. Okay, so how do you add up that? To add up the indicator to our chart, you will see this option right here. Okay, this icon. Go ahead and click on it. If I click on it, it brings up this dialog box, and then you see where it says technical indicator. Go ahead and click on that option, and you can add as many indicators as you want to your chart, right? But the one I use for knowing when to buy and when to sell is the EMA. So you just type in here EMA cross, and you will see EMA cross right here. You go ahead and add it up to your chart, right? Once you add up that EMA to your chart, you'll see the indicator right here. So if I click on it, click on the setting icon right there. By default, the input option here for the short and long EMA lines is 9 and 26. You can use the default, or you can just switch it. Okay, what I normally do is, for the short one, I want to make it 50, and then for the long one, I want to make it 200, right? Then you can go to the style option and then you can change the colors to what you want. But just know that this is your short, this color is for short and this color is for long. So I'll go ahead and click on OK, and that is the indicator. It has been set up, and you can see I'm on the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, now what are we looking at? Moving averages are trend following indicators. You use it to detect the trend of the market, right? So as you can see right here, once the moving average is moving upward, right, you see that the market is in an uptrend. If it is moving downward, you will see that the market is in a downtrend, just as you can see right here. Okay, and what we are looking for is the cross between the 50 and the 200 moving average. For instance, once this is our 50 moving average, this orange line, and then the green line is our 200 moving average. So once the 50 crosses below the 200 moving average, you will see this signal right here. So right here is telling us that this is down, and then we are looking for sell trade. So what happens once this happens, you will now be looking for this market or the candlestick to come back to the 50 moving average and continue to sell off. And another thing you can look at is place when this when the moving averages are moving sideways, you will know. But you must see that this is sloping, okay, downward this way. That way you'll be able to get good signals that will always give you profit, right? So right here, if I was taking this trade right there, when I see this cross, when we pull back here, I would have entered a trade around here. And once you enter a trade, you will see that the market eventually came back down, and somewhere around there you would have secured profit. So if I go ahead and use my short position too, and say we enter a trade around here, and then we're doing like this, will give us at least a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3, depending on where you put your stop loss. Okay, we would have gotten a nice 1 to 3 trade right here, and this would have ended up in profit, right? Then an example of a long trade you can see right here. Okay, when did we cross? When did the 50 moving average cross above the 200? Right here. Okay, maybe you wouldn't have cashed this momentum, but immediately the price came back down to that 50 moving average. That would have been another entry point for you. So as long as this 50 moving average is above the 200 and the candlesticks are above the 50 moving average, you will be trading. So if I was capping Dogecoin, here would have been one of the trades that I would have taken, maybe take profit around there. When we came back again, I would have taken another trade and then ride that trend up there until we eventually started trading below. Now, when we started coming down, you see that the moving average too started sloping downward, right? So this case, we don't take any trade until we see this map right here. But right here, when it gave us this signal, you see that it wasn't just going down. Okay, we now started consolidating, and then we'll cross back up again. So when the market is consolidating, you avoid it. Remember, I'm doing all of these things inside the 15 minutes time frame, right? And another thing you can do for yourself is you detect the trend of the market on a higher time frame. Even the higher time frame, the market is going up, then you should be looking for only buys. So you only wait for pullbacks on the 15 minutes time frame to buy. If the market is going down, if it is bearish, then you're only looking for sales on the 15 minutes time frame. So you wait for the market to pull up, and then you start looking for sales, right? So right here, you see that after we had that crossover, market has just been consolidating and been moving upward. So every time we bounce from that 50 moving average, it is a good entry, and you would have entered a trade up to this level right here. So as it is right now, I'll be looking to take a trade for as long as we don't go below this low here. I'll be looking to take a trade, and I'll be targeting that high there. Then if we now eventually break out of that high, then I'll still enter more trades. Okay, so I'll just go ahead once I'm okay with this, right? Another thing you can do is you can enter a trade immediately while charting this. So you don't need to do the chart different and then you go back to enter a trade. So if I want to take a trade, let's say I want to enter a trade somewhere around this, so I'll go ahead and map that. You can see right here. Okay, this is the entering price I'm looking at, which is that 0.1803 or so. So what will I do? To be able to take this trade, down here you will see this option right here. Click on this particular icon. If you click on it, this pops up. So what happens? Do we want to enter at market order or want to enter at limit order? So if you want to enter at market order, you just click on the market option, and then you just click on buy, open long or open short, right? But I want to do limit order, so I just uncheck that by clicking on that market option. Then right here, I'll go ahead and type 0.1803 and I will use 50% of my capital, and then I'll go ahead and click on open long and go ahead and confirm this. And guys, my trade has been set up right inside of this chart. Everything you're doing it inside of this chart. So my trade has been set up. Now I did not set TP and SL. So if I want to do that before the trade will even trigger, you see this option right here. I can click here to drag it up for the TP to be set, and then I click on the SL option to drag it down for the TP, the SL to be set. Okay, so I just click and then drag. You can see my TP. So if it goes up there, that's about 65%, and I'll be making some money right there. TP has been set. Now where do I set my SL? So I just click and drop it down here. So my SL will be immediately will go below that 15 minutes low. I'm out of that trade. So that is it. TP SL for this trade has been set. All right. Now, if I go back here, you will see that on the orders, we now have an open order. We did the chart, we set up the trade, TP and SL has been set. And that is basically, that is how easy it is to use the Bitunix exchange to start trading without paying additional money for TradingView subscription, guys. Okay, so this is how you'll be able to. Now what I do when it comes to growing my account, okay, is to compound. So since I had $10 right here, I always enter a trade with all of my capital. But in this example I just showed you, I entered with 50% of my capital. So I always enter a trade with all of my capital, and I do one trade per time. So if I enter with the whole of my capital and I make profit after doing my analysis, the next thing, maybe after this trade gives me maybe 100, 200%, the next trade again I'm going to enter, I'll enter with the whole of my capital. That is how I compound gradually. I have 5% daily target or 5% profit per trade. I have 20%. It depends on the exchange I'm trading with and the leverage I'm using, right? So if you want to learn more, make sure you join us on Telegram. The link will be on my bio or in the video description. This is how you trade features on the Bitunix exchange, and this is how you can be able to use just simple moving averages to be able to grow your $10 or your $100 into $1,000 or more. I hope this video is helpful. If it is, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, guys, subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that whenever we publish new videos like this, you'll be the first to be notified. That is it for this video, guys. I'll see you in my next video.